Project, we need some scissors, the black plastic sheeting, the staple gun, and some staples. And what we're going to do is roll this out and cut it to about 1 foot wide, and that should cover the entire bed and leave just a little bit extra in the bottom. So we'll show you how we're going to do it. So we're going to cut it and only go around the edges. We're not going to line the bed itself. That's hard to explain. We're just going around the edges only. So we have this pre-measured to the length of the bed, and we left about 1 foot. We're cutting it about 1 foot too long so that we have extra. We got all of those pieces cut, and now we are going to grab the staple gun. I'm going to hold it up and Mark's going to staple it. And the reason why we're doing this is because the frame of the beds, like the metal part of the frame, has rust on it, and we don't want that in the soil, or when it rains or whatever. We don't want to chance the rust getting in the soil. I don't know that it would hurt it, but we're just going to try to cover that up. So then when it rains or we water or whatever, the water just drains down and it doesn't go into the soil. We're headed back to the compost site. There's a guy that sells compost back here a couple times a year from their horse stables. And we're going to meet him back here to get a load of compost. These are our 2 short pieces. So we'll start down here on this end and then work our way up. We can trim that off later. and we're getting, these beds are going to have our garlic in it. So we have all 3 of the beds done. They are lined and ready. We have to turn the soil, like Mark said, and get it ready for what's coming tomorrow. The compost, the amendments, and more soil. And then we can start planting our garlic. And the garlic will grow until April. And yeah, the garlic will grow until April. And when the garlic comes out, we'll have all of the plants that are in the house growing under the green lights ready to come out. And we'll do some amendments in the soil again and get our spring garden planted. So tomorrow will be another day of work in these raised beds.
Yep, and we're excited to get all this done because we're really excited to get the garlic because we really have not done so well with garlic in the other places. So we'll see how this works in this in the raised beds here. So excited to get this started.
We planted garlic in the garden last year and we got several bulbs, but
Not very well.
no. We had 10 rows of garlic and we probably harvested maybe 1 row is all we got. But this year we bought actual garlic seed. Last year we bought garlic from the grocery store.
Tried to do the bulbs from the
because
garlic
we did a bunch of research and watched other people on YouTube, and they were saying, oh yeah, you can grow it in, you know, from garlic that you get in the grocery store. And we tried that and it did not do well. You know, we made sure that our soil was good. We had our soil tested. We did all the things to try to make sure that the garlic was growing in a happy place. And turns out that it didn't do well. So this year we thought that we would put the garlic in a different area and go ahead and get seed garlic. So we did that. And also before sometime over the next month or so, I'm going to take samples of this soil to the extension office and get all 3 beds tested to make sure that we have the right nutrients in the beds for the garlic. So hopefully that will help with our harvest this time.
Yep, we'll see how it goes.
What we're doing now is Mark is adding lime to this compost. It's a little acidic, so we know that we need to add some, it's not crushed lime, pulverized lime to it. We have some other things, other amendments we're going to add to it, but right now that's what he's stirring in right now is some pulverized lime. Here's what the first bed is looking like. It's nice and full. And we have some wood chips that we had delivered from Jackson EMC that will go on a layer on top of this as well. And I'm going to add some vermiculite to help hold in some of the moisture, and then a couple of other amendments that we're going to add. But it looks really good. It's nice and topped off and almost ready for planting. And then here's the other 2 beds that need about a foot of soil added, so they'll look like this. So Mark's backing up the truck and we're gonna get this one done. Today I'm planting out these raised garden beds, and this first bed here we have dedicated to garlic. I'm sure that we have way more garlic than this bed can hold. This second bed, I'm going to be planting out some carrots, some beets, baby spinach, a Bibb lettuce, some Tokyo long neck white onion, kale, and a sweet salad mix. So that's what's going to fill up this second bed. In this third raised bed, we're going to plant Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. I saved this bed for these plants specifically because of the Brussels sprouts, because you know they get tall and the Brussels sprouts grow on a stalk. So I wanted to use these trellises that are already in place to kind of support the stalks as they start to grow. And the weight of the Brussels sprouts get on. So that's what's going to be planted in this garden bed. I'm going to start with this bed here and get these planted. The Brussels sprouts, I think that I'm going to plant, let's see, I think I'll plant those around the back side of that trellis. In the center of these two trellises, I am going to plant the Brussels sprouts so they can grow tall between these two trellises. I'm going to scoot this one down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's it for the Brussels sprouts. Back here I'm going to plant the cabbage along this back row. So this one we'll plant here. Okay. We're going to do 4. So we'll do 1 here. And this last one we'll plant down here. That will give them a good amount of space to grow. Okay, let's move on to the front plants. Okay, in this area I'm going to plant the broccoli. I'm going to do this side of broccoli, and that side is going to be the cauliflower. This one came out of the package wonky. We'll see how it does. Okay, we'll do this kind of in the center of these two plants. We want everything to have enough room to grow. So that's 4. Let's see, I'm going to move this one up to right here. I'm trying to plant them so that everything has its space. These 2 will go down here. And now we're going to plant the cauliflower. We'll plant the cauliflower. I need to plant something in the center right here. Let me look and see what we've got. In this one, we're going to plant some carrots right here in this patch that we have extra. In the end of this bed, I'm going to plant a cabbage here and a cabbage here. I think that'll look really pretty growing out the side of the bed, or the corner of the bed. Okay. It's the cabbage. In the corner of this same bed, we're going to plant our broccoli in the corners. This one will go here. Now the cauliflower, I'm going to plant, these last 2 cauliflowers I'm going to plant in the first bed with the garlic. We are just going to start putting in our seeds. I stepped on something. I think that we will plant, you know, just a few seeds. So I'm just going to rough this up just a little bit and put the seeds right in this little trench. And then cover it up. Sprinkle the seeds. I do have irrigation for these beds. I'll wait until Mark is here to lay that in. Okay, there's our beets. So we're going to leave this laying here So I know from here over is beets. Okay, and now in this front section, I'm going to plant our lettuce. A nice spot for our lettuce. Oh, isn't this pretty? So many different kinds of seeds. So we just sprinkle those around our lettuce. And we'll thin it out after it germinates and starts coming up. We'll thin it out and keep the healthiest looking plants. Okay, down here in this end, I'm going to plant our onions, the Tokyo long white onions. I should have started these in the house a while ago, but you know, life happens, so I'm just giving myself grace and doing it now. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, then I know better for next time. And we'll just lightly cover those seeds. It's real important when you plant and you're planting from seeds that you don't let your soil dry out. If the soil dries out, they won't germinate. So you want to make sure that it stays moist. Okay, so over in the back, here I'm going to plant kale. I didn't have many kale seeds left because I planted some in the spring. Okay, we'll leave that there. And then this is going to be a big patch of spinach. Trying to grow a lot of spinach. And we'll thin these out when they germinate as well. Just lightly cover them with some soil. Okay, leave that there so we can label it when we're done. And this bed is planted. So we got 2 beds planted. That's great progress. And now we are going to switch the camera around. So I planted a cauliflower in the corner here and a cauliflower in the corner down there. And now we are going to get started on this garlic. So to plant garlic, all you do is take your clove. You don't have to take the paper off. You take your clove and you want to plant it on the root end, the flat end here. You plant that down and make the soil come up about halfway up the garlic. And then in the wintertime, what we'll have to do is cover this garlic with some sort of wood chip mulch or some kind of mulch or hay. We just had hay delivered, so we can We can put hay on it or wood chip mulch. Hay would be better. And then this will grow all the way until it's time for us to plant our spring garden next year. So we'll watch it grow and see how it does. Just want to make sure that it's tipped up. And don't worry about those papers. You don't have to take those off. I love these beds, the way they're laid out, because I can work them from all sides. That makes it so nice. I think we have the perfect amount for this. Okay, I wanted to take you around and show you what we've done. We have the cauliflower here. This bed is full of garlic. It just needs to be watered in. We have a cauliflower back there. In this bed, we have broccoli and broccoli. In the center, we have our beets, the salad mix, a big spot for spinach. This is the bib lettuce. We have kale, our onions, and a cabbage in that corner, and a cabbage in this corner. And back here, we have a whole row of Brussels sprouts down the center. Down through here is cabbage. This is our cabbage on the back. And then up here in the front, this is broccoli. This is our little carrot patch. And this is our cauliflower patch. So what I'm going to do, they're looking a little sad. So we've got to get them watered in really well. And that's the last thing we have to do with these. All we need to do now is water this in. Oh, we have to make the tags to go in the garden to mark everything. And that will be the last thing we do. And these seeds, you have to keep them wet. Not wet, but you have to keep them moist. If you don't keep them moist, if they dry out at all, they will not germinate.